The origins of terminids, including the hunter, have long been a subject of intense speculation and debate among researchers and military experts on Super-Earth. Two dominant theories persist. One suggesting that terminids are invasive species that arrived on Super-Earth through accidental or deliberate interplanetary travel, and another proposing that they are native life forms, evolving in tandem with the planet's unique and harsh ecosystem. If terminids are indeed invasive, their arrival may have been the result of a catastrophic event, such as a failed experiment, an accidental breach of interstellar travel protocols, or even the deliberate seeding of alien species on Super-Earth. Such a theory would imply that terminids adapted rapidly to the planet's diverse ecosystems, taking advantage of the available resources and quickly establishing themselves as dominant predators. This could also explain their strange biological features, such as their ability to communicate and coordinate through pheromones, and their rapid evolutionary adaptability. On the other hand, the theory that terminids are native to Super-Earth suggests that these creatures are an integral part of the planet's complex food chains and ecosystems. Over millennia, terminids might have evolved from smaller, less sophisticated organisms into the highly dangerous and efficient predators they are today. In this scenario, the planet's intense environments, ranging from dense jungles, volcanic fields, and icy tundras, could have shaped terminid biology in unique ways, fostering rapid evolutionary pressures that allowed for specialized traits like enhanced speed, agility, and complex pheromone communication systems. In both scenarios, however, terminids seem to exhibit characteristics of highly adaptive organisms, capable of surviving in a wide range of environments. Whether invasive or native, these creatures have evolved in ways that make them formidable opponents. Their hard exoskeletons, powerful limbs, and specialized hunting abilities make them successful predators, while their reproductive strategies ensure the continued survival of their species. The hunter, as one of the most specialized and evolved terminids, stands apart from other species in several key aspects. Unlike the more basic and straightforward terminid species, which often rely on brute force or swarming tactics, the hunter has developed a unique combination of agility and intelligence that sets it apart. The hunter's evolution has granted it heightened senses and remarkable dexterity, allowing it to perform swift, high jumps and rapid maneuvers that make it an unpredictable and elusive opponent. Its leaping ability enables it to close the distance quickly between itself and its prey, and its sharp claws and stylets allow it to inflict rapid, lethal damage. Compared to its cousins, such as the warrior or scavenger, the hunter's combat techniques are much more fluid and tactical. It will often leap into the air, darting around obstacles and repositioning itself in order to flank its prey. Unlike the slower-moving warriors, who rely on direct confrontation, or the scavengers, who prefer to stay out of the action, hunters employ hit-and-run tactics to overwhelm their targets. They will circle their prey, attempt to land behind cover to avoid incoming fire, and then leap forward to strike when the moment is right. This behavior, while it may appear as a sign of intelligence, is in fact a purely instinctual response, similar to how a housefly avoids a swat. Despite this, the hunter's ability to track and engage its prey with such precision makes it a challenging adversary. The hunter's place within the broader terminid ecosystem is crucial to maintaining the balance of predator and prey. As a smaller, faster predator, the hunter is capable of taking down weaker terminids, such as scavengers, which in turn helps to control the population of these more passive creatures. However, the hunter itself is often hunted by larger terminids, like the bile titan or impaler, which are far stronger and more durable. Despite its agility, the hunter has low health relative to other terminids, making it vulnerable to larger predators when they are able to catch it. This places the hunter in a precarious position within the food chain. While it serves as a key predator of smaller terminids, it is also preyed upon by more powerful species. In the context of Helldiver operations, the hunter represents a significant threat. While it might not have the raw, destructive power of larger terminids, its agility and ability to flank and disable Helldivers make it a deadly opponent in medium to high-level missions, as it uses its speed and acrobatic maneuvers to avoid direct confrontation. It can force Helldivers to waste ammunition, or be caught off guard by sudden attacks. Additionally, the hunter's ability to release pheromones into the air to trigger a bug breach adds an extra layer of complexity to combat scenarios, as it can quickly escalate the situation and attract other terminids to the area. Hunters' specialized attacks make them difficult to combat, especially when working in groups. In higher difficulty missions, their claw strikes become even more dangerous, and their ability to use their stylets to slow down Helldivers gives them a tactical advantage in larger skirmishes. When a Helldiver is slowed, they become more vulnerable to follow-up attacks, making it easier for the Hunter and other Terminids to swarm their prey. This ability to coordinate with other Terminids, albeit unintentionally, makes the Hunter a potent force that should be dealt with swiftly. However, it is important to note that despite its agility, the Hunter is far from invulnerable. Due to its relatively low health pool, the Hunter can be killed relatively easily with the right tactics and weaponry. Headshots are particularly effective, and utilizing weapons with rapid fire or explosive capabilities can neutralize the Hunter before it has a chance to close in on its target. Close combat can also be advantageous, as landing a melee attack will temporarily stun the Hunter, providing an opening for further attacks. Despite its vulnerabilities, the Hunter's evolution has ensured it remains a potent and challenging adversary in the Terminid horde. Its ability to dart across the battlefield, avoiding incoming fire and landing swift, disabling strikes, makes it one of the most agile and dangerous creatures in the Terminid arsenal. Whether hunting on its own or as part of a coordinated swarm, the Hunter's combination of speed, stealth, and devastating attacks ensure that it remains a key player in the ongoing battle between Helldivers and Terminids. The Hunter is a terrifying example of Terminid evolution, representing the pinnacle of speed, agility, and ambush predation within the Hive's hierarchy. Unlike the more brutish and direct warriors, the Hunter is built for precision strikes, utilizing its lean frame, powerful limbs, and heightened senses to outmaneuver, disorient, and ultimately eliminate its prey. Its body structure is highly specialized for mobility, with a sleek, aerodynamic design that allows it to move through the battlefield with unparalleled efficiency. Standing slightly taller than an average Helldiver but maintaining a slimmer, more agile profile, the Hunter's physiology is adapted to rapid bursts of movement and high-speed engagements. Its exoskeleton, though not as thick as that of the heavily armored Chargers or Bile Titans, is composed of a highly flexible yet durable chitinous material reinforced with silicate structures, granting it a balance between protection and maneuverability. The upper portions of its body, including the head and dorsal plating, are particularly reinforced, allowing it to withstand glancing shots from standard-issue weaponry. However, its underbelly and limb joints remain notably weaker, exposing soft tissue that is far more susceptible to gunfire and melee attacks. Unlike the Bile Spewer, whose exoskeleton prioritizes chemical resistance, or the Charger, whose armor is designed for sheer impact absorption, the Hunter's external plating is specifically tuned to resist piercing attacks, while maintaining its ability to flex and contort its body. Its coloration varies, with most specimens displaying dull brown, green, or even mottled black carapaces, offering them a natural form of camouflage within war-torn, debris-littered environments. The Hunter's limbs are an engineering marvel of organic design, each optimized for a specific function within its predatory arsenal. Its hind legs, the most powerful segment of its body, are structured similarly to those of terrestrial predatory arthropods, utilizing coiled muscle fibers that store kinetic energy before releasing it in explosive leaps. These limbs enable the Hunter to cover vast distances in a single bound, either closing the gap between itself and its prey, or repositioning rapidly to gain a tactical advantage. Unlike the more direct warriors, who simply charge headlong into battle, Hunters use their superior mobility to flank opponents, often vanishing behind cover before striking from an unexpected angle. Their forelimbs, while still used for locomotion, are far more developed than those of other Terminids, ending in razor-sharp serrated claws capable of puncturing armor and slicing through flesh with horrifying ease. These claws are not just tools of destruction, but also instruments of control, allowing the Hunter to latch onto its prey before delivering a final fatal strike. The wings, though vestigial, serve a crucial function in mid-air maneuverability, allowing the Hunter to stabilize itself while leaping and even adjust its trajectory to ensure its attacks land with pinpoint accuracy. Sensory perception in the Hunter is leagues beyond that of lower-tier Terminids, making it an exceptionally effective tracker and ambush predator. Its large, multifaceted compound eyes grant it a near-panoramic field of vision, enabling it to detect movement from multiple angles without needing to turn its head. Unlike human vision, which relies heavily on color differentiation, the hunter's optical system is optimized for detecting heat signatures and ultraviolet light, allowing it to track prey even in complete darkness or through environmental obstructions like smoke or dust. This heightened sensitivity extends to artificial light sources, as hunters have been observed reacting instinctively to laser sights, darting out of the path of incoming fire in a way that suggests an automatic, reflexive aversion rather than any conscious understanding of weaponry. Beyond sight, the hunter possesses an acute awareness of its surroundings through a specialized system of vibration-sensitive hairs along its exoskeleton, particularly concentrated in its limbs and thorax. This allows it to detect minute changes in air pressure, vibrations through the ground, and even the faintest sounds of movement, making it almost impossible to take by surprise. Unlike the more chemically driven warriors, which operate largely on pheromone-based directives, the hunter's heightened senses allow it to act with a degree of independent initiative, responding to stimuli with near-instant precision. Its olfactory system is similarly advanced, utilizing an array of pheromone receptors to detect wounded prey, nearby allies, or the presence of Helldivers within the vicinity. In higher difficulty encounters, hunters have been observed releasing pheromone clouds into the air upon engaging in combat, triggering localized bug breaches that summon reinforcements from nearby hives. Internally, the hunter's physiology is a testament to the Terminid hive's relentless drive toward biological perfection. Unlike the more brute-force digestive systems of bile spewers, which rely on corrosive acid to dissolve organic matter, the hunter's feeding mechanism is far more specialized. Its retractable stylets, lined with razor-sharp barbed edges, inject a paralytic enzyme into its prey, breaking down soft tissues into a semi-liquid state before consumption. This highly efficient digestion system allows the hunter to rapidly extract nutrients and replenish its energy stores, ensuring that it remains in peak physical condition for extended periods of activity. Unlike larger terminids, which require prolonged rest cycles to recover from exertion, the hunter's metabolism is optimized for sustained bursts of movement and combat efficiency. Hemolymph, the terminid equivalent of blood, circulates through an open system, meaning that injuries causing severe blood loss can be particularly detrimental to its ability to function in combat. This open circulatory system, while efficient for distributing oxygen and nutrients, also presents a notable vulnerability. Severing limbs or causing catastrophic internal damage can rapidly incapacitate the creature, as it lacks the ability to clot wounds effectively under sustained fire. The brain structure of the hunter remains an area of active research, as its combat behavior suggests a level of instinctual strategy that surpasses lower-tier terminids. While still considered a mindless drone under the control of higher-caste bugs, the hunter exhibits remarkable adaptability in combat, often repositioning to avoid incoming fire, flanking distracted targets, and prioritizing weakened or isolated enemies. Whether this behavior is purely reflexive or indicative of a rudimentary tactical intelligence remains unclear, though the prevailing theory suggests that hunters operate on a pheromone-driven reactive intelligence system, allowing them to respond dynamically to threats without the need for direct oversight from alpha commanders or broodlords. Despite its many strengths, the hunter possesses distinct weaknesses that can be exploited in battle. Its reliance on speed and mobility means that limb damage is particularly crippling, as severing its legs can effectively neutralize its greatest advantage. Similarly, its underbelly remains a critical weak point, as the exoskeleton is significantly thinner in this region, making it more susceptible to armor-piercing rounds and melee attacks. Its open circulatory system means that hemorrhaging is a serious threat, and incendiary or plasma-based weaponry can cause catastrophic tissue damage that the creature is unable to recover from. Finally, its highly sensitive sensory organs can be turned against it, with flashbangs, sonic weapons, and environmental obstructions disrupting its ability to track and engage targets effectively. In summary, the hunter represents one of the most formidable threats within the Terminid hierarchy, a lethal combination of speed, precision, and adaptive combat strategy. Its biology is perfectly optimized for rapid engagement and ambush tactics, making it a priority target for any Helldiver squad encountering it on the battlefield. Understanding its strengths, weaknesses, and behavioral patterns is key to neutralizing it before it can overwhelm its prey in a relentless, coordinated assault. The hunter is one of the most specialized and lethal predators within the Terminid hierarchy, a creature defined by its speed, agility, and an instinctual mastery of ambush tactics. Unlike the mindless hordes of scavengers and warriors, which rely on sheer numbers and brute force assaults, the hunter operates with a level of precision and cunning that makes it one of the deadliest threats on the battlefield. Designed for rapid movement and surgical strikes, the hunter is an evolutionary marvel, perfectly adapted for tracking, flanking, and overwhelming prey before it even has time to react. Its exoskeleton is relatively light compared to the heavier armor plating found on larger terminids, allowing it to maintain a level of speed and dexterity that few Helldivers can match. However, this does not mean the hunter is fragile. It is still remarkably durable for its size, and its carapace offers enough protection to withstand glancing blows from small arms fire. Unlike larger terminids that rely on sheer mass for defense, the hunter's primary survival mechanism is its uncanny ability to evade incoming attacks with swift, unpredictable movements. The hunter's primary hunting strategy revolves around speed and misdirection. It is not a frontal assault unit like the Charger or Bile Titan, nor does it rely on the overwhelming numbers of lesser terminids. Instead, it stalks its prey with eerie patience, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Helldivers who have faced these creatures report that they seem to appear out of nowhere, launching themselves from concealed positions with explosive bursts of movement that allow them to close the distance almost instantly. This is made possible by their highly developed leg musculature and partially functional wings, which, while not strong enough to grant true flight, allow for incredibly long and powerful leaps. These leaps serve both offensive and defensive purposes, allowing them to engage quickly and retreat just as fast if necessary. While airborne, the hunter can adjust its trajectory mid-flight, making it exceptionally difficult to hit with conventional firearms. Their attacks are executed with terrifying efficiency, targeting vulnerable areas on their prey with razor-sharp claws and elongated stylets, the latter of which functions similarly to the paralytic proboscis of some parasitic insects. Upon landing a strike, the hunter's stylets inject a venomous secretion that, while not fatal on its own, severely impairs the mobility of Helldivers, slowing their movements and making them easy targets for follow-up attacks. This neuromuscular toxin is particularly devastating in group encounters, as a slowed Helldiver is far more vulnerable to the swarming attacks of nearby terminids. Some field reports even suggest that the venom contains pheromonal markers that alert other hunters and nearby terminids to focus their attacks on envenomated targets, ensuring swift elimination. When faced with a direct firefight, the hunter exhibits an extraordinary level of evasiveness. Unlike most terminids, which charge blindly into gunfire, the hunter appears to possess an almost instinctual ability to anticipate incoming attacks. Many Helldivers have observed that the creature actively reacts to laser sights, leaping sideways the moment a beam is trained on its body. Some have theorized that this behavior suggests a primitive form of situational awareness, but military scientists remain firm in their assertion that this is merely an advanced reflex, similar to how insects react to sudden movements. Nevertheless, this trait makes the hunter one of the most difficult terminids to kill, as it can often dodge multiple gunshots before finally succumbing to well-placed fire. Within the larger terminid ecosystem, the hunter plays a crucial role as both an enforcer and a scout. While it does not appear to hold the same command authority as creatures like the Alpha Commander or Broodlord, it is often deployed in key strategic locations, acting as a first strike unit that softens up enemy forces before the main horde arrives. The hunter's ability to coordinate with its own kind makes it even more dangerous, as they rarely operate alone. Instead, they hunt in small, synchronized packs, working together to flank and disorient Helldivers before closing in for the kill. The speed and precision of their attacks make them particularly effective against squads that rely on tight formations, as a single well-placed hunter strike can disrupt an entire defensive line. One of the hunter's most notable battlefield adaptations is its ability to release pheromonal clouds that act as a distress signal for nearby terminids. Upon encountering enemy forces, a hunter will emit a powerful chemical signature that triggers a bug breach, calling reinforcements from surrounding hives. This pheromonal signal grows stronger as the hunter becomes more agitated or injured, meaning that prolonged combat with a hunter often escalates into a full-scale terminid assault. Many Helldivers have fallen into the trap of underestimating a single hunter, only to find themselves quickly overwhelmed as an entire swarm responds to its distress call. This trait makes eliminating hunters as quickly as possible a top priority for any squad operating in Terminid territory. The hunter's life cycle is one of the most intriguing among Terminids, as it appears to undergo multiple stages of metamorphosis before reaching full maturity. Its juvenile form, known as the pouncer, shares many characteristics with the adult hunter, but is smaller, less durable, and more reliant on swarm tactics. Pouncers are often found in densely populated hive zones, where they develop their hunting skills by attacking weaker prey. As they mature, pouncers undergo a dramatic physiological transformation, shedding their early-stage exoskeleton and developing the fully articulated limbs and reinforced claws of the adult hunter. This metamorphosis process is believed to be triggered by pheromonal exposure, with only the strongest and most aggressive pouncers evolving into true hunters. There is speculation among military researchers that some elite hunters may undergo an additional transformation, evolving into even more advanced Terminid variants. Some unverified reports suggest that shriekers may be mutated hunters, altered by prolonged exposure to termicide chemicals or Super-Earth's genetic warfare agents. If true, this would imply that hunters serve as a key adaptive branch within the Terminid species, capable of evolving into new forms based on environmental pressures. This theory is supported by field data suggesting that hunters exposed to high-intensity combat conditions tend to exhibit more aggressive and unpredictable behaviors, potentially indicating the early stages of an evolutionary shift. In summary, the hunter is one of the most dangerous and adaptable Terminids in existence, a creature that combines speed, precision, and raw lethality into a single, terrifying package. Unlike the mindless swarms of lesser bugs, hunters exhibit a strategic predatory intelligence, making them one of the most difficult enemies to counter on the battlefield. Their mobility and evasive capabilities allow them to outmaneuver even the most experienced Helldivers, while their venomous attacks and pheromonal distress signals ensure that any encounter with a hunter can quickly spiral into a life-or-death struggle against an entire swarm. To underestimate this creature is to invite disaster. Against the hunter, there is no room for hesitation. Helldivers must strike fast, strike hard, and never let their guard down. For the moment they do, the hunter will already be closing in for the kill. The hunter is a master of adaptation, capable of thriving in the chaotic and ever-changing battlefields of Terminid-infested worlds. Unlike larger Terminids that rely on sheer bulk or overwhelming numbers to survive, the hunter's survival strategies are centered around speed, evasion, and rapid tactical adjustments. These creatures are notoriously difficult to pin down, using their enhanced reflexes, agility, and intelligence to outmaneuver threats and exploit weaknesses in enemy formations. They have been observed adapting their attack patterns based on environmental conditions, enemy behavior, and even changes in the battlefield itself. If a hunter is wounded or finds itself in a compromised position, it will immediately alter its approach, either retreating into cover, regrouping with other Terminids, or attempting a feint attack to throw its pursuers off balance. One of the hunter's most effective survival tactics is its ability to exploit terrain. Unlike heavier Terminids that charge forward blindly, hunters actively use obstacles, structures, and natural cover to their advantage. In rocky, uneven terrain, they leap between elevated positions, making them even harder to hit. In urban environments, they have been seen using ruins, abandoned buildings, and underground tunnels to launch ambush attacks before quickly disappearing into the shadows. This makes them particularly dangerous in high-density combat zones, where traditional Helldiver tactics relying on open engagements are less effective. Another critical aspect of the hunter's adaptability is its interaction with other Terminid species. While not a high-ranking member of the Terminid hierarchy, hunters appear to operate with a degree of autonomy, functioning as an elite strike force within the swarm. They rarely attack in large groups like warriors, but when they do coordinate, their attacks are highly synchronized and devastatingly effective. Hunters are known to cooperate closely with alpha commanders and broodlords, responding to pheromonal signals that dictate their positioning and engagement tactics. These signals allow them to adjust their behavior in real time, shifting between stealth ambushes, frontal assaults, or defensive retreats depending on the needs of the swarm. Their role as advanced scouts and tactical enforcers suggests that hunters also serve as a form of elite guard for the queen, though their exact ranking within the hive structure remains unclear. Some evidence suggests that only the strongest, most experienced hunters are permitted into the deeper layers of Terminid hives, where they patrol key access points and eliminate any intruders before they can threaten the queen. It is possible that high-ranking hunters undergo further mutations, evolving into even more dangerous forms to fulfill this role. When facing non-Terminid factions, hunters display remarkable adaptability, quickly adjusting to new threats and combat strategies. Against humans, they have developed an almost instinctual reaction to firearms and laser sights, dodging incoming fire with erratic movements. Against cyborgs, who rely on heavy armor and mechanized units, hunters shift their strategy to target weak points such as exposed joints, sensor modules, or power cores. Some reports even suggest that they have learned to prioritize Helldivers carrying heavy weapons, recognizing them as the biggest threat and eliminating them first. One of the most fascinating aspects of hunter behavior is its ability to release pheromonal distress signals, which serve as both a call for reinforcements and a psychological warfare tool. When injured or outnumbered, a hunter will emit a chemical signal that alerts nearby terminids to its presence, often triggering a bug breach as reinforcements begin pouring in. This signal also appears to agitate other nearby terminids, making them more aggressive and frenzied in combat. In essence, a single hunter can turn an isolated skirmish into an all-out battle, forcing Helldivers to either eliminate it quickly or risk being overwhelmed. If forced into a desperate situation, hunters utilize several escape tactics to survive. Their rapid leaps and unpredictable movement patterns make them extremely difficult to track, allowing them to evade pursuit by diving into tunnels, scaling vertical surfaces, or disappearing into dense terrain. Some hunters have even been seen faking death, lying motionless for extended periods before suddenly springing to life and attacking when their prey lets its guard down. This deceptive behavior, combined with their ability to rapidly retreat and regroup, ensures that even if a hunter fails to kill its target, it will rarely be killed itself. Ultimately, the hunter's ability to adapt, evade, and counter enemy tactics makes it one of the most frustrating and dangerous foes Helldivers can face. Whether fighting alongside its Terminid brethren, ambushing human forces, or clashing with cyborg warbands, the hunter remains a relentless, ever-evolving predator that never fights the same way twice. The hunter is one of the most dangerous medium-class terminids, posing a serious threat to Helldivers due to its extreme agility, unpredictable attack patterns, and ability to evade incoming fire. While it lacks the sheer brute force of larger bugs like the Charger or Bile Titan, it compensates with speed, precision, and relentless pursuit tactics that make it an ever-present danger in the field. Unlike the mindless swarms of warriors or scavengers, hunters possess a high level of battlefield awareness, allowing them to exploit weaknesses in Helldiver formations and strike from unexpected angles. One of the hunter's most dangerous traits is its ability to leap great distances, using its powerful hind legs and underdeveloped wings to close the gap between itself and its target almost instantly. This makes standard ranged combat strategies far less effective, as a hunter can dodge gunfire, reposition itself in an instant, and strike before a Helldiver has time to react. When engaging a Helldiver, the hunter will often attempt a surprise pounce, using its momentum to knock the target off balance and land a devastating follow-up attack with its razor-sharp claws and piercing stylets, tongue-like mouthparts. These repeated lunging attacks can quickly overwhelm an unprepared Helldiver, especially if fighting multiple hunters at once. Hunters also possess a unique instinctual reaction to laser sights, making them particularly difficult to hit with precision weapons. As soon as a hunter detects a targeting laser, it will immediately attempt to dodge, leaping sideways or altering its movement to throw off a shooter's aim. This gives the illusion of intelligence, but in reality, it is simply a deeply ingrained survival mechanism, much like how a fly instinctively avoids an incoming swat. Regardless of the cause, this reflexive evasion makes hunters much harder to kill compared to most other terminids of similar size. In high-difficulty encounters, hunters gain additional abilities that further increase their threat level. On challenging difficulty and above, their stylets will inflict acid damage, slowing down Helldivers upon impact. This temporary mobility debuff is extremely dangerous, as it makes it far easier for other Terminids to close in and finish the job. This mechanic makes hunters particularly effective at softening up enemy forces before the main swarm arrives, ensuring that even if they don't land a killing blow themselves, they leave their targets vulnerable to further attacks. Another major challenge when facing hunters is their ability to release pheromonal distress signals, which can trigger a bug breach and summon reinforcements. If a hunter is left alive for too long, it may call in additional waves of warriors, scavengers, or even other hunters, turning what was once a manageable skirmish into a full-scale extermination-level engagement. For this reason, it is critical to eliminate hunters as quickly as possible to avoid unnecessary escalation. Despite their many advantages, hunters do have several notable weaknesses that Helldivers can exploit. Their low health pool makes them far less durable than armored Terminids, like the Brood Commander or Nursing Spewer. A well-placed shot to the head or torso can bring them down in a single hit with powerful weapons, such as the APW-1 Anti-Materiel Rifle, RS-422 Railgun, or SG-225 Breaker Shotgun, explosives such as G-16 impact grenades or the GL-21 grenade launcher can also be highly effective, especially when dealing with groups of hunters. When fighting hunters in open terrain, it is best to keep moving and maintain a safe distance. Since hunters rely on close quarters ambush tactics, forcing them to fight in the open makes them far easier to hit and reduces the effectiveness of their leap attacks. Weapons with high fire rates and large magazines, such as the AR-23 Liberator or the MG-94 machine gun, can help mitigate their dodging ability by saturating an area with bullets rather than relying on single precision shots. In tight, enclosed spaces such as caves, Terminid nests, or urban ruins, hunters become far more dangerous, as they can use cover to evade fire and attack from multiple angles. In these situations, shotguns and melee attacks become the most effective means of self-defense. A well-timed melee strike can stagger a hunter, giving a Helldiver a brief moment to reposition or finish it off with a follow-up shot. The Slugger shotgun is particularly effective in these scenarios, as its stagger effect can prevent a hunter from attacking long enough to land a killing blow. Ultimately, the hunter's greatest strength is its ability to disrupt enemy formations and create chaos on the battlefield. Even a single hunter can force a squad of Helldivers to split their attention, waste ammunition, and lose valuable positioning. When encountered in larger battles, they become even deadlier, acting as a high-speed vanguard that softens up targets before the rest of the swarm arrives. However, by staying mobile, focusing fire, and using the right weapons, Helldivers can effectively neutralize this deadly predator before it has a chance to turn the tide of battle. The Hunter is one of the most dangerous and strategically disruptive Terminids encountered by Helldivers. Unlike the mindless, overwhelming swarms of warriors and scavengers, which rely on sheer numbers to achieve victory, Hunters employ a level of speed, precision, and tactical awareness that makes them a significant threat, even to well-armed and experienced Helldivers. Their agility allows them to traverse the battlefield with frightening efficiency, closing distances in seconds and attacking from unexpected angles. Equipped with powerful hind legs, they are capable of executing rapid leaps, avoiding incoming fire, and striking before their targets have time to react. Their movement patterns are erratic, making them difficult to track, and their ability to navigate the battlefield using vertical terrain adds another layer of complexity to engagements. Unlike the slower, more methodical approaches seen in larger Terminids, Hunters thrive in chaos, using speed and deception to throw enemy forces into disarray. In comparison to other Terminids, the Hunter occupies an intermediate evolutionary stage, more advanced and specialized than warriors, but lacking the commanding authority of Brood Commanders or the sheer destructive power of Bile Titans. Unlike heavily armored units such as the Impaler or Nursing Spewer, the Hunter does not rely on brute force or resilience. Instead, its primary defenses are speed and unpredictability, making it incredibly difficult to hit, even for seasoned marksmen. The distinction between Hunters and other Terminids is evident in their combat behavior. While warriors charge head-on and overwhelm enemies through sheer numbers, Hunters are far more tactical in their approach. They prefer to flank, attacking from blind spots and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. When engaging Helldivers, they will often leap from cover to cover, dodging gunfire while closing the distance before delivering a devastating melee attack with their powerful claws and specialized needle-like mouthparts. Once in range, a hunter will use its sharp forelimbs to lacerate armor and flesh alike, while its secondary attack, a paralyzing strike using its elongated tongue-like appendages, can temporarily disable a target, leaving them vulnerable to additional attacks. This secondary attack is particularly lethal when hunters operate in packs, as a single well-placed strike can slow a Helldiver's movement, allowing other Terminids to swarm in for the kill. One of the hunter's most unique traits is its ability to react instinctively to laser sights. Many Helldivers have noted that when aiming directly at a hunter, it will often dart sideways or leap unpredictably, making it appear as though it is actively dodging incoming fire. However, scientific analysis suggests that this is not a learned behavior, but rather an evolved reflex, similar to how insects on Earth react to sudden movements. The neural pathways of hunters appear to be wired for instantaneous response, meaning they react purely based on sensory input rather than conscious thought. This makes them incredibly frustrating to engage, as their erratic movements can cause even the most disciplined Helldivers to waste valuable ammunition. Their heightened reflexes make traditional suppression tactics far less effective, forcing Helldivers to rely on high-damage, area-of-effect weapons, such as explosives, shotguns, or rapid-fire weaponry that can compensate for their speed. The hunter's evolutionary role within the Terminid hierarchy appears to be that of a shock trooper, designed specifically to weaken enemy formations, create chaos, and exploit vulnerabilities. While they lack the overwhelming numbers of lesser Terminids or the commanding authority of larger variants, they play a crucial role in breaking defensive lines and allowing the rest of the swarm to overrun enemy positions. Their presence in a battle significantly increases the effectiveness of other Terminids, as they can disrupt Helldiver formations, force retreats, and create openings for larger, more durable units to move in. Given their reliance on speed and agility, it is unlikely that hunters hold a high position within the Terminid hierarchy. Instead, they seem to function as independent skirmishers, operating in loose packs rather than in strict formations. While some Terminids, such as the brood commanders, can exert a degree of pheromone-based control over lesser species, hunters appear to act more on instinct, suggesting that they are given a degree of autonomy when engaging enemies. Looking toward the future, it is entirely possible that new hunter variants could emerge as the war against the Terminids escalates. Evolutionary trends within the species indicate that Terminids are highly adaptable, with each generation becoming more specialized and efficient. It is conceivable that more advanced hunters could develop additional stealth capabilities, such as the ability to camouflage themselves against certain environments, or even biological adaptations that allow them to resist energy-based weaponry. Given that Terminids have already demonstrated the ability to secrete powerful acids and venomous compounds, an acidic hunter variant could emerge, capable of coating its claws in a corrosive substance that breaks down Helldiver armor on contact. Another possible mutation could be enhanced aerial mobility, with hunters evolving larger and more powerful wings that allow for sustained flight rather than short-range jumps. Such adaptations would make them an even greater threat, particularly in environments with vertical structures where they could strike from above with minimal warning. For now, Helldivers must remain highly vigilant when facing these fast-moving threats. Unlike standard Terminids that can be dealt with through superior firepower alone, hunters require tactical precision, coordinated teamwork, and specialized weaponry to counter effectively. Their speed and reflexes make them incredibly difficult to engage at range, meaning Helldivers must rely on area-of-effect weapons, burst damage, and well-timed melee counters to neutralize them. Weapons such as the SG-225 breaker shotgun, RS-422 railgun, and G-16 impact grenades have proven to be some of the most effective tools for dealing with hunters, as their wide damage radius and high stopping power can compensate for the hunter's unpredictable movements. Engaging them in open spaces is preferable to fighting them in tight corridors or dense terrain, where their agility gives them an overwhelming advantage. As Super Earth's war against the Terminids continues, the threat posed by hunters is likely to grow. Their ability to disrupt formations, disable targets, and create openings for larger Terminids makes them a high-priority target in any combat scenario. With the increasing likelihood of genetic mutations and evolutionary advancements, future encounters with hunters could introduce even deadlier variations that demand new strategies and tactics. Helldivers must adapt, evolve, and continue the fight for democracy. Have you encountered hunters in high difficulty missions? What weapons and tactics do you find most effective against them? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all future breakdowns of Super Earth's greatest threats. Democracy needs you.